had someone reach out through referral and they recommended a city for me. I got them 3 leads in 4 days. They charge high prices and are proud of it. I got on a call with them both to close, and they liked everything until it came to talking about price. One business owner said $1,500 per month is fair, but they have to think about it for 2 weeks. I wasn't able to use the method where I said I have someone on the hook. I tried to tell them I'll need to look for another business owner while they consider it, and they said that's fine. What could I have done differently there to have gotten them to make the decision on the phone? So he got them. So basically, long story short, he wasn't able to close the deal on the spot. The one business owner said the 1,500 was fine, but they need 2 weeks to think about it. So just a reminder, whenever you guys are getting objections, this is going back to sales 101, whether you're selling freaking ridiculously priced bottled water, shout out to Park Plaza for using glass when they don't need to, that's fine. High priced bottled water, t-shirts, freaking power banks, doesn't matter what you're selling, okay? If you are getting an objection from your customer, it's almost 100% of the time not what you did. It's not where the objection came that you went wrong. It's the step or a step before, okay? Now, without getting all the context and without being there as a fly on the wall, without watching over your shoulder, without knowing exactly what was said in the timeline and all the rest, what I can tell you is that I believe, based on what you're telling me, that what happened is the setup, okay, which is right before the close, is the setup is where it went wrong. And what I mean by that is that the business owner clearly felt like they could come to you and say they needed time to think about it, right? We don't get that. I don't get that. Our agency doesn't get that. We just don't. The reason why is because I know it's coming. Every person on this earth, every human on this earth is going to say they need to think about it because no one wants to make the wrong decision. I already know that's coming, right? And so as part of the training, what we talk about is the setup. And as part of the setup, we want to eliminate objections. We don't want to wait for them. And this is a prime example. When you wait for an objection to come, now you have to overcome it. When you attack the objection first, when you eliminate the objection first, it's so much easier. It takes one sentence, it takes one quick conversation, it takes one example, and it's not an issue. But if you wait for the objection to come, it is almost impossible or extremely difficult to overcome. It is extremely hard to tell someone they can't think about it versus telling someone, hey, all I ask is that by the end of this call, you give me a yes or no. And if it's a maybe, it's a no. That is so much easier to do than to wait until they object. So I could tell you, based on what you're telling me, that you went wrong in the setup. You went wrong in not setting the expectations, not being clear that I need an answer on this. And you don't need to say it like that. Hey, I need you to give me a yes or no. We don't want to spook them, right? Sometimes I'll say that if the business owner and me, we're vibing and whatever. You went wrong in the setup. That needs to be addressed. You need to either say that on the phone. I like to definitely bring it up in the screencast, but I also like to bring it up on the phone call, right? I'm talking to these business owners. If I'm the one that's like still closing deals, which I've removed myself from that aspect, thank goodness. I did that for years. And I say thank goodness, not because I don't like it. I love it. I say thank goodness because it's allowed me to scale now because I don't have to be there and get deals, okay? You went wrong in the setup. You needed to bring that up in the screencast that we're going to need a decision because you need to find someone as soon as possible. These leads are valuable. It's money going down the drain, and I'm going to give you some for free, but you need to let me know by the end of this. That's all I ask is don't leave me in the whole like, no man's land or I got to think about it, that kind of thing. That's all I ask from you, Mr. Business Owner. And by the way, make sure that you have any decision makers on the phone. There's no pressure. I've given you the leads. I'm going to show you the pricing. I'm going to go over everything. You're going to have every bit of information and that's it. Okay. So you went wrong in the setup. Now, to just talk really quickly about one more thing. And by the way, I'm getting text from a partner of mine on a real estate deal that's been interesting. Sorry, that's why I flipped the phone. One more thing. If you do get that objection, okay, I want to cover this really quick. Let's say you get the objection of, I want to think about it, I need to think about it, whatever. Now, your only option is to try and overcome the objection. We have a training on feel, felt, found, right? So we want to make sure, just a quick like recap, make sure that you let the business owner know that you feel them. Hey, I feel you. I understand. You don't want to make a wrong decision, whatever, right? Felt. You want to make sure that you let them know that another business owner felt the exact same way. You can say, I felt the same way when doing such and such a thing, but it's more powerful if you say, remember that guy, Joe, I told you about that we work with in, Cincinnati? Yeah, it's funny you say that. He felt the exact same way. He's like, dude, I got to think about it. Feel, then felt, and then it comes to found. But what Joe found is that at the end of the day, he would rather, even though he wasn't 100% certain, he's like, I can't be 100% certain about anything. He would rather take that slight risk than me go with somebody else and work with somebody else because I'd given him the free leads. He's already looking to do something different from what he's already doing. He needed to grow, and it just made sense. And so that's the feel, felt, found. And then you go in for the close again. Okay. The only other thing I would mention, before you do that, I skipped a step. Make sure that you make sure that is their actual objection. Okay. You need to tie them down. Okay, Bob, I get it. So you want to think about it, right? So besides thinking about it, and I'm doing air quotes because that's a broad thing. Besides you thinking about it, is there any other thing, any other question, any other reason that this wouldn't make sense today? No. Okay. Now I'm going to go a little deeper. Let me ask you this, Bob. And again, I'm not going to be pushy. I just want to understand. What exactly do you need to think about? Because I know that you know where your budget's at, right? You run the business. You know where the budget's at. I know that your partner's here on the phone. What exactly, when you say you want to think about, what exactly do you mean? And they're going to tell you, right? And you're going to dig and you're going to make sure, and you're going to isolate that one specific issue and make sure that's the actual cause. Then you're going to use the feel, felt, found method, and then you're going to go back in for the close. Okay. Tie down the objection, feel, felt, found, go back for the close. And you don't need to be super aggressive. You could do it in your own way. You don't need to just be super blunt. I like to be that way sometimes. Sometimes I don't. It just depends on the situation, but you can do it the way that you want to do it. But again, think about it. The setup, you could have easily just told them that on the call, right? On the screencast. That would have just been simple. A line, a sentence, two sentences, versus you didn't, and now you're at objection overcoming, and now you have to tie it down, and now you have to do the feel, felt, found, and now you have to go back in for the close, and it's a little bit uncomfortable, and you're going to sweat a little bit, and it's so much easier to eliminate than it is to overcome. Sorry, that was a long answer, but that's the truth. Okay, let's keep going.